Hello everyone, and welcome to Zen Ege sequel demo. It is the sequel to Yags, and I'm so excited to play the demo. I've already pre-ordered the game. If you would like to pre-order, links are in the description. Links always in the description. You just go. There's some perks and stuff. Treating it like a Kickstarter without being on Kickstarter, because this game is gonna happen anyway, like no matter what. This is just a way for people to like help the dev do like maybe some extra stuff. But if you want to hear the song with lyrics and stuff, I'll link there's a video on Bob's YouTube. Wow, those were sentences that I said. I need to start now because I can't think. Let's go. Let's go. Start. I was like, yes! We get to play as Carlos this time! Also, I think we get to meet Chris. I'm not sure if we get to meet Chris in the demo. Chris is, the character that you played in as Yags, but you could, like, you know, name them yourself, but canonically, it's Chris, I think, so... Welcome to Zen, a gay sequel, or as you like to call it, Zags. My name is Carlos. This is a sequel, and it looks like you haven't played the first game, Yearning a Gay Story, yet. If you haven't played Yearning a Gay Story, that will also be in the description. It's free, it's it's on a little on the long side. It's really good. I loved it. Or I also have, a Let's Play on the channel if you want to watch that. For spoiler reasons, it's recommended that you play Yags first before tackling Zags. Okay. I wish there was an option to be like, nope, what are you talking about? I've played this game. Let me play Zags anyway? Sure, I'll make a note of this so we don't ask you again. If you want to play Yags if you want to play Yags later, you can find the download links for it here. I'll link it, don't worry. Before we start, I have to show you this warning about adult content. You know how I feel about warnings. I love them. Thank you.
Warning. This game contains implied nudity, adult situations, strong language, underage drinking, and depictions and descriptions of gay sex, and is not suitable for children. This game may also deal with uncomfortable situations such as violence, bullying, and depression. Viewer discretion is advised.
Alright, me. With that out of the way, in this game you'll be playing as me. I like my name, but I guess I could get used to a nickname. Is there a name you'd prefer instead? Whoa! It changes name. It's a nickname though. No, Carlos is fine. I like Carlos. This person says like I played the first game, and now I'm just like, it's Carlos. No, Carlos is fine. Great. I'm glad you like my name too. And that should be it. As far as setting things up, remember, this might just be a game for you, but this is my life. I'm counting on you to make the right decisions on my behalf. Too much pressure, boy. Oh, damn, his face. Wait, is this the... Hold on, is this the... Okay, again, spoilers, spoilers. If you've read if you don't want spoilers, I highly suggest you play Yearning a Gay Story first, because I think this is a scene that happens in the game, in Yags, and it's spoiler territory, go! I slide down the wall in the hallway of the hospital and sit on the floor, a million thoughts running through my head. My friend Elliot just woke up from his coma after having his head bashed in by some homophobic asshole. It's only been 2 weeks, but it feels like it happened years ago. I can still remember that evening, watching in frozen horror as he was suddenly on the floor, blood everywhere. I should have done more. Oh my god, it is! Sorry, I've been following this game, and I keep seeing like this character on the right, and I was like, is this Chris? Is this Chris? Is this Chris? It is Chris! Sorry, I got excited. Adam and Chris sit on either side of me, looking at me with concerned expressions. Look at Chris though, I love him! Hold on, I'm not fine, I need to calm down. I don't know why I got emotional about this. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I shake my head and stare at the floor, the expression on Elliot's face when he woke up and looked at me still fresh in my mind. He looked hurt. He blamed me for what happened, still blames me. Not that he would be wrong to. Somehow it seems almost laughable now that I've been considering asking him out. Oh. I tried to come out to him once after finding out he was gay, but couldn't get the words out. I'd asked him to join me for a game of foosball instead, and he'd looked at me funny before agreeing. I'm pretty sure he knew. I wonder what he would have said if I told him. Was he interested in me too? None of this would have happened if I'd been more willing to be more honest about myself. He was defending me. Oh god, no, I'm reliving this! Oh god. Bob, you know how I feel about Carlos, and this is one of the parts that made me fucking feel things. No, I can't be crying right now. Stop. Adam looks at me and I can tell he has no idea about the situation. Dude, it's my fault. He was standing up for me. He was defending me. Because he knew. Because he knew I had a crush on him. Oh my god, seeing this from Carlos' perspectives hurts me. It hurts me. The words are out before I knew it, and I freeze. Oh god, what did I just do? Wait, what? Adam stares at me, and I try to interpret his expression. Confused, curious? I don't dare look at Chris. I stare at the floor instead, my vision suddenly blurring. This is not how I imagine telling anyone, especially the people I consider my best friends. Oh god. I don't know why I'm crying. I know why I'm crying. Shut up, B. Especially when there's friendship feels involved. Oh fuck. I take a deep breath and bury my face in my hands, trying to force the words out. I'm gay, Chico. It's a relief, at least for a moment, to finally admit it out loud. Can't believe I just did that. I can feel Adam's eyes on me, but I don't dare look at his face, afraid of what I'd find there. If Adam took Chris's coming out well, this will be fine too, right? Still, I know it's not the same. He'd barely known Chris at the time, but Adam and I have been friends for much longer. As the seconds tick by, I can feel any hope for a positive outcome fading away. I knew it. You hate me. No! God, I can't believe I'm gonna do this again. I wince at the word, loud in the silence and filled with anger, or maybe betrayal. Or anger because he feels betrayed. Carlos, don't you dare say that. Don't you ever dare say that I hate you. Don't you ever dare think that I hate you. That's promising. You're like a brother to me. You're my best friend. I love you. He sighs and I glance over at him as he leans back against the wall. He looks hurt, but maybe that's a good sign? God, the art is so good. What the heck? I'm, hurt, I guess. That you didn't tell me sooner. It's not exactly something I've told anyone before. The expression on Adam's face softens. Dude. You know I know that Chris is gay. You know I don't care. I know, I sigh and shake my head. I don't know. I look over at Chris, who's quiet, as always. Damn him. I like the fact that cause like in Yags, your character doesn't really say much. Only a few times input. You know what it's like, Chris. He looks back at me, stoic as always, before nodding slowly. Yeah, I do. Adam sighs. You're right. I guess I just couldn't understand. But, glad you told me now. He puts his hands on my shoulder, gently turning me towards him. But dude, I don't care. It doesn't matter. I can feel tears welling up in my eyes, and I try to will them away. But then Adam pulls me into a hug and I'm crying freely. Things are going to be alright. You're still my best friend. And I'm sorry about Elliot. A quick shuffle of footsteps catches my attention, and Elliot's parents walk past Adam into the room. I catch a glimpse of a look on their faces. Disapproval and fear, even revulsion. It reminds me of the look of my mother's face when she'd heard that one of my brother's friends had come out. She'd forbade him from seeing him again before dragging the three of us to church. But why would... Do they think Adam and I are a couple? I push Adam away and lean back against the wall, a little more forcefully than intended, and shudder involuntarily. I can still remember the anger in her voice, and the exact moment I'd realized I could never tell her, be myself around her. Did you see that? See what? The way they looked at us. I shake my head and squeeze my eyes tightly shut, in some futile attempt to forget. I can still remember being in the room when Chris came out to his parents, Learning then that he was gay, and feeling a small glimpse of hope that I'd found someone I could talk to about things. But I'd never been able to work up the courage to tell him, and the fact that things went well for him just seemed to remind me again how different things would be if I tried. That's how my parents would look at me if they knew. Dude. The tone of his voice is somehow infuriating. I wish Adam wouldn't try to emphasize. I wish Chris would stop being goddamn silent. Don't dude me, Chico. You don't know what it's like. I know the words are unfairly bitter, but all I can think about is my mother. It's easier for you, Mr. California. You're straight, and it wouldn't matter if you weren't. Adam falls silent, looking between me and Chris. Chris, for his part, remains silent. I sigh, feeling more defeated than angry now. My cast is off. Let's go. Elliot needs to rest anyway, right? Adam nods, wordlessly standing. Chris stands and reaches for my hand, offering me to help me up. I push his hand away and get off the floor, wiping my nose on my shirt sleeve. Chris and I follow Adam back to the campus in silence. So I guess that's how I unexpectedly came out to Adam and Chris. Elliot was released from the hospital shortly after that, and promised he'd keep in touch, but I was less than enthusiastic about it. I was about to give him something else to worry about, and I really didn't want anything to do with his parents after that. Adam and I talked a bit that night after an increasingly stressful afternoon, but he never brought it up again, which I guess was considerate of him. I feel like he probably expected me to broach the topic again if necessary. I guess it's nice knowing that he's there for me at least. If Chris wasn't always so quiet, maybe I'd try to pick his brain a little instead. But things haven't really changed between us, both with Adam and Chris, which was a huge relief. Real good quiz! I'm gonna geek out about Chris, okay? Hold on. I love them, the best boys. God, this is like everything I wanted. Okay, I'm good. I'm okay. Adam, Chris, and I walked together to the Yard, a casual pizza restaurant near campus. Chris had taken a bit of convincing, but we managed to get him to join Adam and me for dinner and a movie instead of studying for finals. The restaurant unfortunately seems crowded. Guess everyone else wants a break from finals and campus food too. Looks like they're a little busy tonight. Christopher! Oh, hello! A bearded guy in a purple shirt and a girl with purple and pink in her hair spots Chris and waves at him. The guy looks vaguely familiar. They would make their way over to us, and the guy gives Chris a hug. The girl giggles and hugs him too. We're going to see a movie tonight. They seem friendly enough, and Chris seems to be fairly at ease with around them. More company is always nice. Oh, us too. You should join us. Oh, this is Dan and Liz. This is Carlos. We've met before. He grins and gives me a hug too. I struggle to remember where we'd met, but come up blank. Dan laughs. It was brief. I'm just good at remembering the names of cute guys that cross my path. I blush at this and Liz giggles. Chris shuffles his feet and Adam coughs. Shall we get a table? By some miracle, a table for 5 opens up almost immediately, and I'm soon seated between Adam and Chris, watching Dan and Liz across the table looking over the menu. I glance over at Adam and grin. Pineapple jalapeno pizza. Dan looks up at me curious. Huh? Can't say I ever considered that combination before. It's only the best thing ever. Liz giggles. Peppers give me fiery shits. Dan laughs. That's a lie, girls don't poop. Well, at least 2 of them do. When there's a cup and round. No, I forgot about this! Dan laughs again while Adam and Chris look uncomfortable. We can order 2 different pizzas. I think Chris would appreciate something different anyway. The order and conversation go better from there, and the discussions move to finals. Adam is of course disappointed by my lack of preparation. I'll never understand Adam's or Chris's need to study so much. The food soon arrives, and everyone digs in. I find myself staring at Dan across the table as he pokes Liz with his finger, and I'm suddenly curious. Can I, ask you a question, Dan? He looks over at me, smiling. Liz pokes his arm and he swats at her playfully without breaking eye contact. What's up? Are you and Liz dating? Ew. Dan laughs. Definitely not. Okay, I take a deep breath and will the following words out of my mouth. Okay, are you okay? Adam chokes on his pizza and I hit him on the back. It's a welcome distraction, at least. You know, a lot of people would consider that a rude question. I can feel my heart drop and start to mutter an apology. No, it's fine. I'm not a lot of people. I just do a lot of people. Dad! In the butt. No! Where those people are men. Liz giggles, and Adam drinks some water, shaking his head. Why do you ask? Chris and I have been talking about things, but I was kind of... I don't know. I knew it. You're totally, a word that isn't appropriate. Daniel! Language! That's rude! This was a mistake. Sorry, Nate and I just... You're totally gay, though. This is really, really a mistake. Hey, I am too. Most of the people at this table are, but... Sorry. You're gay, and want to meet more gay people, and generally find yourself, right? Something like that. Dad, I'm channeling Liz right now, but you're making me really uncomfortable. Sorry. I totally know the feeling. You should come by Q&A sometime. Chris has mentioned that before. What is it? It stands for Queer and Allies, although in practice it's pretty much all queers and no allies. Liz giggles. Everyone there is friendly. If anyone gives you shit, my girlfriend will shut them down. I think it's a nice way to meet people. The thought makes me nervous, but it seems like it'd be rude to outright reject their suggestion. Maybe. We meet every Saturday morning around 9, although I think tomorrow's the last scheduled one for the year. You should come by, 3rd floor of the Student Center. Right now, trying to seem somewhat non-committal, as I watch Chris chuck some water in an attempt to cool his mouth from the peppers. At least he ate some of the pizza. The conversation moves on, and despite feeling myself relax, I also keep focusing on Dan's suggestion, already feeling uncomfortable with the whole idea. Then again, looking at Dan and how at ease he seems with everything, I feel like it could do me some good, despite feeling nervous about the whole thing. It's Saturday. I pause outside the door to Chris and Adam's room, collecting my thoughts before knocking. Wookie. There's some muffled sounds inside the room and Chris opens the door, blinking at me sleepily. Hey, Chris. He steps aside and I slide past him. Adam turns over in his bed, covering his face with his pillow. Carlos, dude, it's too early for breakfast. Or running. I take a deep breath, refusing to let myself back out now. Actually, I was, curious about Q&A. I wanted to see if you'd go with me, Chris. Adam pushes the pillow aside and looks at me sleepily. That's a good idea, actually. Chris had to drag me along when he wanted to go the first time. I almost laughed at the thought, thinking how awkward Adam must have felt. You've been to Q&A, Chico? As moral support, but yeah. I look over at Chris, who nods slowly. Yeah, I could do that. Thanks. I'll see you later today, Chico. I wait outside the door for Chris to change. He appears a few moments later. I put on my bravest face and try to calm my nerves. Ready? Here we are with Chris! Oh my god. I'm so excited. Seeing all this from Carlos's point of view is amazing. I love it. He's like my favorite character. Like, he's not like my favorite like route, but he's most definitely like one of my favorite characters, or probably the favorite character. I follow him as far as the student center hallway before my determination gives out, tugging on Chris's coat. He stops and looks at me. Why am I so scared, Chris? He pauses for what seems like an eternity, quiet and contemplative as always. I felt the same way my first time, but everyone is friendly. I nod, somehow not feeling really reassured, but follow him into the room anyway. The room is full of people, and I recognize Dan and Liz from earlier, but feel frozen in place in the doorway. Christopher! And Carlos. He comes over to us and gives us each a hug. A woman in a purple t-shirt who seems to be in charge smiles at Chris. Nice to see you again, Chris. Dan points to the couch where Liz is sitting. There's plenty of room there. Come join us. Chris shrugs and walks towards a corner. I mutely follow him, trying to focus on his shoes, his bag, anything but where I am at this moment. This was a mistake. Oh, Carlos. I wonder idly if Dan was offended by us not taking up his offer, and glance at and glance in his direction, but he seems to be distracted already, talking to another guy. It's James! James! Now you obviously know who my other favorite character is. It's James! The one who I pursued in Yags, and was successful, surprisingly. James, I missed you. It hasn't been that long, but I missed you. Chris ends up in the far corner next to a couch with a blonde man in a gray shirt sitting on it. He nods at the two of us before turning to what looks like reading some papers. Chris' voice breaks me out of my trance. This is James. James, this is Carlos. James nods at me again, but doesn't speak. I find myself staring at him and force my eyes away. He is really attractive. Heck yeah, he is! That's Liz B in the purple. She's in charge. She's dating Liz G, who you've already met with Dan. Welcome everyone to the last meeting of the semester. I don't hear or at least process much of what she says, but it seems to be over quickly and most of the people in the room file out. I'm startled back to reality when Dan plops down on the couch next to James, grinning at me. Liz, the non-leader one, sits on the arm of the couch next to him. You made it, Carlos. James shifts uncomfortably. I guess. Liz, the leader one, walks over to the four of us and smiles at me. Goodness, you still look absolutely petrified. Reminds me of you, Chris. Babe. James stands and grabs his bag. Time to go. Only 4 more shows. Bye, James. He hands me a piece of paper and I somehow manage to take it, blushing as my hand brushes his. Let me know if you want to talk. Jameson has a crush. Not hitting on you. Not that I'd mind that. Just talking. Is that what they're calling it nowadays? James shakes his head and I manage to stammer out some thanks. James walks out the door and Dan scoots over closer to me. So, you could talk to James, or the two of us could have some more intimate conversation. What do you think I was going to say, Liz? The two of you can talk in here all you want, but take your conversation somewhere else. So distrustful. You should see someone about that, Liz. I should get going as well, actually. Study group to make. Liz G hugs Chris, Dan, and me. Bye, Chris, Dan, Carlos. Seriously though, Carlos, no sex in here. My eyes follow them to the door and I start to get nervous again. Dan is a little overwhelming. I should probably go too. Sure, seriously though, let me know if you want to talk. Or, talk. I feel myself blushing again and stammer out a goodbye before heading back into the hallway. I stand in the hallway for a bit, piece of paper clutched in my hand and trying to regain my bearings. Why was that so terrifying? Nothing went wrong, everyone was friendly. Maybe too friendly in some cases. I uncouple the sheet of paper and read it. It seems to contain an instant messenger screen name. I guess I should create an account. Would be good for talking more directly with Elia anyway. Heading back to the frat house in my room, I spot some familiar people in the student center atrium. It's the group! Look at them! Oh, look at their faces! I love them! One of them, Hannah, spots me and waves. I wave my way over to their table where it looks like a board game is set out. Hi, Carlos. I think you remember Nicole, Jake, and Nate? I do. And if I remember correctly, Jake and Nate are dating, and Hannah and Nicole are dating. Looks like you're playing a game? We were just starting a game of Third and Taxis, but if you'd like to join us, we can play something else. I haven't played this game before anyway, so I wouldn't mind, really. Figured we'd take advantage of us being a group before. Chris wasn't up, I think, when we messaged him this morning. I think I should be getting back to catch breakfast, but maybe next time. Thanks. I leave them to their game and head back to the frat house. I walk into the house's dining room and spot Adam sitting alone in an otherwise empty room with a plate of food. Good morning, sleepyhead. Hey dude, how was your meeting? I grab the chair next to him and shrug. Okay, I guess. Dude. I was just nervous the whole time. Well, then you were probably a lot like Chris his first time. He puts a hand on my back and rubs it reassuringly. At least it was a good step to take, right? I guess. I finger the slip of paper in my pocket, somehow finding it reassuring. Go grab some food, dude. There's some eggs and bacon left. Although I really wish you'd have some more vegetables at breakfast time. Steve, one of the leaders of the fraternity, slides into a chair next to Adam. Hey, Adam. Hey, Steve. I quickly excuse myself to the buffet, eager to avoid yet another conversation about how Adam needs to spend more time at the house. So that's the story of my first Q&A visit. It, could have gone better. Never did get the courage to message James, although it would have been a good idea to. I guess this whole gay thing still makes me feel nervous, even if I guess I'm technically out now. Besides, it wasn't too long after that when classes ended and I flew with Adam to his parents' house in California for the break. Which I guess is where we pick up now. Adam and I get off the airport bus, walking into the snow-covered campus. The icy air bites at my lungs. Dude, it's freezing. You're the one that insisted on coming back here. It would have been just fine staying in California. At my parents'? I could have found a job there or something. Surf instructor? Adam laughs and slaps my back. Uh-huh. Anyway, want to go see what's cooking at the house tonight? I was going to go to the gym, actually. Dude, we literally just got back. And I've been sitting on a plane all day. It's time to run. Well, you do you. I guess I should get my stuff back to my room anyway. Can you take my bag with you, just for now? Adam shakes his head but grabs my bag after I quickly pull my gym's clothes out of it. I'll catch you afterwards at the house then. Adam heads back to his room as I head to the student center gym. The student center is deserted, which isn't actually too surprising given most people haven't returned yet. I recognize the desk attendant for the gym, Malik. Hey, Carlos! Hey, have a good Christmas break? I guess. It was quiet here and I was able to take a bunch more shifts without classes. Dude, why would you spend the break working? Well, money. Plus I can't exactly go home. Too far? He laughs, seemingly in disbelief. Honey, I'm surprised we haven't had this conversation before. My parents kicked me out when it came out to them. Oh, I'm sorry. Come out. Wait, you're gay? Oh, I don't know. Okay, mindset. Carlos, we have to do these decisions that will benefit him. And I'm just like... Oh, I'm sorry. He shrugs and smiles at me. Thank you, sweetie, but it really wasn't surprising for me. At least I have a scholarship and loan, so it's just housing and food I have to cover. I'm surprised he didn't know, though. It's not exactly a secret. Is he gonna be more open about being out? I mean... I don't know. This is hard already! It's the first step, right? I don't know. I don't know! This is what happens when you have prior information! Do we come out to him? Is he like, oh sweetie, I knew. It's the demo, but I'm already like... Come out to him. The words stick in my throat and I stammer for a bit. He seems to interpret that as uncomfortableness with him and looks at me funny. Before I can say anything else, he shrugs and holds out a fluffy white towel. In any case, here's your towel. Please scan your ID card there, because I'm sure you've forgotten the procedure over the past few weeks. The tension is broken in a grin. I don't know. It has been a while. I swipe my card and he nods at me as the computer beeps. You're good to go. He clears his throat as I put my card away. By the way, I'm working this desk Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings, and most of the days on weekends this semester. I wouldn't mind seeing more of you, honey. Maybe I'll see you when I come to work out then, at least until the weather is nice enough to swim. I look forward to it. Ripperoodies. The gym is deserted and I quickly change and run on the treadmill for a while. I can't wait until it's warm enough to swim again. Soon I decide I'm done and wave goodbye to Malik on my way back to the house. Is this... It's fine. It's sort of like what happened with Chris. Like, it wasn't like a bad thing to like try and come out or go to like the Q&A the first day. Hopefully this isn't like a huge setback in the full game. But it does mean that he's still in that stage of like, yeah, can't be really open to like everyone. I find Adam in the frat house's common room playing Guitar Hero with my other little Tom. Carlos, bro, how was your break? Dude, how are you talking while Adam drops some notes and Tom laughs. It was great. I'm surprised Adam hasn't told you all about it. He walked on me having some alone time with this game, dude, and couldn't help but join in. I'd say we should make it a threesome, but we'd need another fingering implement. Dude. The song ends and Adam shakes his head. I'm just ribbing you, bro. You're still way better at this than I am. Ribbing? Adam laughs and pulls the guitar strap over his head, holding it out towards me. Take over for me? So you're asking me to save you, Chico? Or I don't know. I feel like seeing my little battle it out. Maybe... I like this one. So you're asking me to save you, Chico? I will neither confirm nor deny. I take the guitar from him and Tom grins. I'm not going to take you easy on you, bro. I don't expect any less, dude. We played through a couple of songs as Adam watches. I managed to do pretty well. You're pretty good, Carlos. I'm surprised you two don't play together a lot. Tom shrugs. Well, this is a relatively new game, and Ava and I just started dating around when the house got it, so I guess I was otherwise occupied. Looks like a party in here. Steve walks into the room looking like he just arrived from the airport and sets his bag down on the floor. Hey, Steve. All of you have a good break? Can't complain. Adam nods, looking a bit uncomfortable. He's probably expecting a lecture from Steve. So while I have all of you here, I was thinking I'd like to start a weekly house meeting this semester. We had some incidents last semester. Yeah, because Elliot having his head beaten in by Robert was an incident. And it's more important than ever that we stick together, especially with Spring Rush coming up. So Tuesday evenings? It should conflict the least with evening classes for everyone. That works for me. Steve nods, staring right at Adam. Great, I hope to see all of you there. Tell the other brothers for me too as you see them. Steve leaves and Adam seems to relax again. Adam, man, unclench before you start shitting diamonds or something. Adam shrugs. He looks at me. I don't know, I thought the break would help me clear my head or whatever, but I still feel like I don't really belong here. Like it seemed to make sense last year, and I've made so many friends here, but I also just... emphasize or be direct? I don't know. because Carlos's like relationship and like life is in my hands, I'm more nervous about what the heck I do. Because I know this character and I don't want to fuck it up. Is it better to be direct with Adam though? I'm trying to remember like their conversations. Oh yeah. I throw an arm over her shoulder. Dude, you don't have to be in this frat if you don't want to. It's not like we'll stop being friends if you decide this isn't for you. I know, but it still feels like... He shrugs. But thanks, dude. Tom! Oh, who is she? I look over to the doorway, where a tall girl in a blue shirt is standing. You're back! Yeah, my flight had some issues, but I finally made it. She smiles at me and Adam. Hi, Carlos and... Alex, was it? Adam. Right, of course. Adam. I'm sorry. Adam puts down the guitar and walks over to her, giving her a quick kiss. Dinner? It's probably about that time. I guess I'll catch the two of you tomorrow then. I wave as they head out and Adam sits down on the couch. I feel this sense of dread now whenever I see Steve, which isn't fair to him at all. I sit down next to him. Like, I know Elliot was my best friend, and so everything that happened really hit him hard. And I know he really has the frat's best interest in mind. But I guess I just didn't expect to become such a formal thing. And the more I'm reminded that I'm not dedicating enough time here, the more I feel like I don't want to. Maybe I'm just too focused on my studies for an organizational commitment like a frat. Maybe, but that's not a bad thing. You study too much, Chico, or say nothing. Maybe, but that's not a bad thing. I'm just trying to make up for your lack of studying, dude. That hurts, Chico. Right in the heart. I bet. Want to see what Chef has cooked up for dinner? Looks like cold cuts? I guess we make sandwiches. Chef must not be back yet. We eat quickly and Adam excuses himself, ostensibly to sleep, although I'm pretty sure he's going to go read another textbook instead. I'll come by tomorrow morning for my bag. Sure, as long as it's not too early. I thought you were going to bed early. Something like that. See you tomorrow, dude. I find it hard to fall asleep as my mind keeps returning to Malik and my failed attempt at coming out to him. Why do I freeze up like that? Eventually I managed to drift off to sleep. And that's the end of part 1, guys. If you're interested in playing the demo, recording the game, links are in the description as always. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!